Lanark, heart of a county that is almost a little nation in itself. Deep-rooted in time and the fundamental tilth of its soil, Lanarkshire, the most peopled county in Scotland. Lanarkshire is synonymous with industry, but the little town that gave the county its name is a market town for farmers. For industry means men as well as machines, generations of men steeped in the patient husbandry of the rich farmlands out of which they grew. More than 100,000 head of cattle graze these rolling uplands, and nearly 500,000 acres of this highly industrial county are intensively farmed. The land of Lanarkshire is golden. In the old days, the miners of the village of Lead Hills used to seek literal gold in the streams all around. It's still there for the tourists to admire. But the real gold is now a metaphor of growth and flowing progress and prosperity, a prosperity fertilized and nurtured by the enduring river Clyde. The Clyde created Lanarkshire. The Clyde gave Lanarkshire its first access to power, to drive its 18th century cotton mills, and in one such mill, at Blantyre, the explorer David Livingstone was born. The Clyde brought the rich glacial deposits on which has been built a thriving fruit industry. It's always been a pioneering county. Here in New Lanark, Robert Owen, the humanitarian industrialist, created a socialist utopia for his mill workers more than a century ago. He was a founder of the cooperative movement, a pioneer of factory reform. The older boroughs have their earliest roots in prehistory itself. In the burly adventures of Scotland's past, they all played large parts. Boroughs like lovely named Rutherglen, whose boundaries march with Glasgow. And Airdrie and Coatbridge. Motherwell, third largest borough in Scotland, has lost the origins of its romantic name in the blur of antiquity, but there's nothing antiquated about its modern hotel facilities. The administrative capital of the county is Hamilton, another borough rooted in the past, but branching strongly into a modern future. These are the proud new county council offices. And on the ancient tiny village of East Kilbride has been grafted a spectacular experiment in modern living. In 1947, East Kilbride was launched as the first of Scotland's new towns. Already East Kilbride is more than halfway towards its eventual target of 70,000 people and has become an independent borough in its own right. East Kilbride is both the symbol and the symptom of Lanarkshire's purposeful drive into the new age of science-based industry. And the National Engineering Laboratory, a government research station serving industry throughout the whole of Britain, is heading the breakthrough. soon it'll make East Kilbride the scientific capital of Scotland. In the passing, it makes new forms for old materials like these industrial diamonds. All sorts of scientific principles, however unlikely, are tested out here for modern industrial application, like this airbed lathe, worked on the hovercraft principle. It is research, ultimately, that breeds new industries, the exciting, exacting new industries that hoist man far above his native element. In Lanarkshire, the jet engine age has come to stay. Fire and earth and air. But water is still and always will be the fourth indispensable element. Industry thirsts for water no less than men, and the new Deer water scheme behind the biggest earth embankment dam in Britain has a huge moorland catchment area that ensures a supply of more than 30 million gallons a day. Quietly and unhurriedly, the river from time immemorial has superintended the growth of Lanarkshire's industrial as well as agricultural prosperity. The cotton mills gave way to the steel mills, and now at Ravenscraig the great new strip mill is turning out sheet steel to feed the insatiable new consumer industries of the 60s. And from the great marshalling yards at Ravenscraig, the steel flows to all parts of the country. The 20th century demands speed of communications, for the most valuable commodity in the world of industry today is time. There is more motorway construction planned or in progress here than anywhere else in Scotland. The old red winding rural roads are being superseded by the 4- and 6-lane roads of the future, giving Lanarkshire the most sophisticated road and rail system in the country. From the industrialised northern reaches of the county, new motorways are driving south towards Carlisle and east to Edinburgh. They're bringing the vital port facilities of Glasgow and Grangemouth practically to Lanarkshire's doorstep. And a third motorway link to Stirling leads straight to the Highlands and beyond. Fast communications are essential to the speed of light industries of the future. As fast as light itself, modern electronics help to turn out millions of pills a week. Where Lanarkshire once was the bastion of the heavy forge, now the accent is on light precision engineering, delicately making the subtlest components for this electronic age. But the essentials still remain: the sharpness of eye, the quickness of hand. Human skill is still the greatest of all our resources, a skill that is basic but endlessly adaptable to the needs of this technological age. Tempus fugit, precious seconds, speeding swiftly, captured quickly, thrust them in a metal box, wheels and cogs to help imprison, seconds that are known to fly, speedy hands deceive the eye, nimble fingers help contain measurements of man's short reign. This is more than merely clever horological endeavour. Pivot pins and ratchet wheels, tiny screws and dustproof seals, gears and cogs and countless spindles, levers, rings and mainspring things. Tempus fugit, faster, faster, spinning hands but static faces. Hands and faces all intent and concentration to be spent on hoarding the elusive hour. Does it give a sense of power? Test and check for each split second. Only thus perfection reckoned. Final stages, end of line. Only question, what's the time? The very face of the country is changing. The new face is a young face, an educated face. It is the face of men like this young architect, dedicated to modernizing the whole living patterns of an age-old county. The terraced rows of the past are symbols of a grimy, toiling, industrial age that belongs to another century. Their function is played out now. The old disorder is changing. But the men who forged the past with their hard hands are still the same. They have helped to rationalize their old laborious calling. Automation has revolutionized their lives too. There are fewer than 15,000 miners left in the county, a mere quarter of their former number. But their working conditions have been transformed. Coal is power. Coal is molten volcanic energy, energy wrenched from the deep earth and released by fire. Energy to make steel, the steel with which the men of Lanarkshire fashion engines that can move the earth itself. The great American earth-moving firms were amongst the earliest of the new industries to take root in Lanarkshire, using local manpower and skills adapted to modern industrial needs. Incoming industrialists have nothing but praise for the innate shrewdness and versatility of hand they found here. As a result, Lanarkshire is now the largest producer of earth-moving equipment in the world outside the United States of America. These same powerful machines are now busy creating new landscapes for the future of the county itself. And on the moved earth, new buildings take root. Since the war, 11 million square feet of new factory buildings have been put up, and nearly another million are under construction or in blueprint. In the broad acres of Lanarkshire there is plenty of space for more. Side by side with all the industrial developments are huge new plantations of modern homes for modern people. Lanarkshire is building hard to house the largest county community of people in Scotland. In 20 years since the war, the county has built more than 50,000 new houses. Another 7,500 are under construction, and thousands more are being planned throughout the county. The need is never ending. The population too is soaring high above the 500,000 mark. In 1 decade it has grown by 50,000. And yet despite this increase, this spacious county of contrasts has ample room for all. New people need new shopping centres. They need new homes. And the newest people need new schools. From technical training students down to toddlers, Lanarkshire looks after its young new people. Already Lanarkshire is larger in population than the smallest of the nations of Europe. A little nation of a county, a harmony of town and country, where ancient gold lies buried in the hills and the valleys reach confidently into the future.